In Kazakhstan's Ministry of Emergency Situations has reported that there are 22 people that have been hospitalized following the Azerbaijan Airlines crash near Aktau. Aditya back on the telecast with me. Aditya, 22 people have been hospitalized, which means they have been pulled out of the rubble, pulled out of the crash site, and they have been hospitalized there. At this point of time, are more people that are feared dead, although numbers have not been revealed up until now. And all this information is being given by the Kazakhstan authorities via telegram.
That's right,
well,
Megha.
I'll just come back to you, sir. My colleague Aditya is giving me information on this.
Well, absolutely, Megha. I mean, as we mentioned earlier, that the rescue operation is still underway. The recent numbers that you mentioned, that 20 people are still being rescued. More number of people will this number will increase, because this rescue operations, it takes time, and because such a major crash has happened, many more casualties are expected to increase, and more number of people will also be found injured. So it needs to be, this entire situation needs to be monitored minute by minute. Yes, Megha.
Right, absolutely. Stay on with me. I have PK Saighal, who's a senior defense expert, also on the telecast with me. PK Saighal, now, there are more details that are going to pour in, which will help us understand what exactly happened. The situation right now, information pouring in, quite sketchy. We can only at this point of time make a calculated guess what may have happened at the crash site. The visibility was extremely low, therefore the pilot was asked to reroute the plane which was en route from Azerbaijan to Russia, and then it has been rerouted and brought to Kazakhstan. Now, how difficult does it become during these times, during especially the winter times, for the pilots to navigate in such inclement weathers and foggy conditions?
Because incidentally, I have myself been a flyer. I have flown for 10 years. What surprises me as to why the pilot did not make a mayday call, which is an international emergency call. Had he made that call, the ATC would have given him priority landing irrespective of anything else. Why he did not make a mayday call? He kept repeatedly asking for permission to land. But had he made a mayday call, he would have been given immediate permission. It is believed that there could have been a technical problem in the aircraft. It could have had a bird, which is probably now being investigated, and there was extreme amount of fog also.
Okay.
But that notwithstanding, I tend to totally agree with Professor Bakshi. He also is an aviator and has been an investigator also, that the voice recorder in the black box will actually tell us what actually happened. Was it a technical failure? Was it because of the bird hit? Was it because of the bad weather? And what exactly transpired between the air traffic control and the pilot? All this is very, very essential for us to get to know what exactly caused the accident. But what surprises me once again is why the pilot did not make a mayday call. If he had an emergency on board, he should have made an international mayday call, which would have given him priority landing over everything else, irrespective of whether the runway was busy or there were other traffic, etc. He would have been given an immediate priority landing. Plus, had he given a mayday call, all arrangements would have been made to immediately deal with a crash. Okay. Crash tenders would have been there, fire tenders would have been there, Red Cross would have been there, everything would have been there.
But at this point in time, it's still speculative. We do not know what has happened, what has failed, what led to the pilot then making an emergency landing before any such command being given by, any such clearance being given by the ATC. Now, a special investigation into the crash has been launched by the Kazakhstan Ministry of Transport after it reported that 22 people were hospitalized. Back to Aditya right now. Aditya, the preliminary reports, giving us indication that there are more people who are still stuck at the crash site inside the airplane. There are rescue operations, emergency services that are also on the ground right now. Picture will be clearer in the hours that pass by, and there is already an investigation that has been launched by the Kazakhstan authorities and ordered by the Kazakhstan authorities. How soon will you be able to estimate as to the timeline of events and what exactly went wrong?
Well, Megha, what was the major reason behind the crash, and all these things will be clear within 1 or 2 hours, because the clearing this debris and identifying how many people are dead, how many are more injured will take another 2 to 3 hours, because as per all the standard operating procedures, the airport authorities at Kazakhstan are engaging in the rescue operations currently, and it will take another 2 to 3 hours as to by when a clear picture can come about the casualties and how many are injured and what could be the possible major reasons of this crash, unfortunate crash on the Christmas. Yes, Megha.
Okay, Sudhakar ji, defense expert, also on the telecast with me. Sudhakar ji, what can you infer from all this information that is now trickling in at a very fast pace? Visuals on our screens, there has been a number of visuals that at this point of time has been put out on Twitter, on X, that gives eyewitness accounts of what exactly happened on the ground, where the plane is on its way to deboard, and there you see that it has crashed on the runway.
Megha, good afternoon. Thank you for getting me to your show. In fact, there are two esteemed and very eminent panelists who have spoken before me, the General and the Wing Commander, and I think they deserve to have the last say. It's a very unfortunate accident that has happened. Having been witness to quite a few disasters and being in the investigation of civil aviation or the aviation disasters, it is too premature to make any comment. Like both Wing Commander Bakshi and the General, they have outlined the modus operandi or the standing operating procedure generally adhered to. It will be incorrect or not to make any guess as of now. But for the time being, all I can say, there is a technical angle, there is a human error possibility, there is also a weather error. So which one precedes the other, actually very difficult to say, but my gut feeling is, which is incorrect in any case to make any this thing, everything will come out in just a matter of, let's say, 24 to 48 hours. At least the preliminary investigation would be done. Until then, we have to hold our horse and stop making any speculations, because based on these findings will be the preventive measures which will be taking. But at the same time, I think the weather was foggy and the aircraft was asked to orbit around the airport. So there could be a possible lack of communication or lack of clarity from the ATC side, which will come forthcoming after some time maybe. And or there could be some problem with the technicality of the aircraft, because of which the pilot wanted to actually make the immediate landing, emergency landing, or it could be anything. So for the timing, I would take a guess by keeping quiet on the thing. It will be too premature to make any kind of conclusive kind of a finding or give any indication as to why this particular disastrous crash has taken place. Back to you, Omega.